But as I say, I think I've had a new insight or a new perspective on this question that comes from that analogy that we use of waking up. You want to wake someone up to this or that truth. Well, I was reading an article, semi-non-related, on Chinese suppression of academics in China, where there was a quote that jumped out at me because it seems so apt to this situation. The quote was, "You can't wake someone up who is pretending to be asleep." And I thought that was so perfect for describing not every, but a lot of the situations that we find ourselves in, where you are trying to present information on a certain topic to someone. It's not that they can't see what you are presenting. It's not that they can't understand, or they only need that one piece of information and then everything will fall into place and they'll magically believe everything you believe. No, often it's, of course they know what you're saying, but they don't want to know what you're saying. That is a real psychological phenomenon, and it isn't necessarily, I don't think necessarily that means that person is pretending to be asleep, as in they are consciously know the truth that you are saying and believe the truth you are saying, but are making the conscious decision to lie and say, oh, I don't believe that. Not necessarily. Doublethink is a real phenomenon, and I think it affects probably all of us to some extent or other. Yeah, I have this unquestioned assumption over here. I don't look too deeply over there because I don't want to know what I really think about that, so I'll just leave it vague and mushy. Everyone engages in that to some extent because it's hard to interrogate every assumption and drill down to core truths and really see, well, what does this rest on? Do I have evidence to support that? We can't do that with absolutely everything in our lives at all times. We would go insane. So there are certain things, you just kind of leave that to the side. You pretend to be sleeping on certain issues. And that's an important insight, because extend the analogy. Yes, there are heavy sleepers out there that it's difficult. You really have to try to wake them up. But unless they're in a coma, you can wake them up. It is physically possible to shake someone out of their sleep, unless they are pretending to be asleep. And then no matter what you do, you can shake, you can do whatever. If they want to continue pretending to be asleep, they can continue pretending to be asleep, and you can't. What are you going to do? And that is something, I think, to ponder when we look at this question.
And I just wanted